Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of habits, doing a review that's quite overdue, because I got this beer sent quite a while back. But this is a big mega collab, and I got this from Copenhagen Beer Week, or the team behind Copenhagen Beer Week. So Copenhagen Beer Week was, we're in June now. I kind of did this video a month late, but again, I've had so much things to do in May, working as a brewer and also privately. So I've been like away every single weekend. So I haven't gotten a chance to try this one yet. But we're trying it now. So this is the official Copenhagen Beer Week beer for 22, and it's called Rock Brew, which is a collab between breweries on the island of Bornholm in Denmark. I'm in a familiar setting. If you've been following me over the years, you might know this background. Sitting in a different angle, but I'm at my mom's place, where I shot all my reviews way back in the day. But this is a 6.2% Maibock, and the breweries that collaborated on this is Svaneke Bryghus, fairly well-known big brewery, it's a craft brewery, but it's one of the larger sized ones, based on Bornholm, and their beer is available in most supermarkets. And then we got Small Batch, which is quite a small brewery. We've got Beer Here. You probably also know Beer Here if you're an old money beer geek from Denmark. Also outside of Denmark, Christian is a really great brewer, and so is Paul from Svaneke. I don't know actually who's behind Small Batch. And then we got Lucky Island Brewing Company, which I've never heard of. And then it's also made in collaboration with, of course, the Copenhagen Beer Week team, and then also Menulaget, or the Øllaug in Menu. So Menu is a series of stores in Denmark that just has such a great selection of many things. It depends from store to store, but like we have one in Aalborg where I'm based that is just like it has its own butcher, its own fishmonger, cheesemonger, crazy like selection of these kind of fine produce things, but also like lots of stuff from around the globe. Like you can buy ingredients for making like Korean food and stuff, which you'd never see in a supermarket. Like you can buy a gochujang and stuff like that in the supermarket. Quite different from from what you're used to in Denmark. And then they have a decent beer selection. The one in here locally, they actually sell beer from my brewery, or the brewery I work at, Bad Seed Brewing. So yeah, let's not get too much into that. So this is a Maibock on 6.2%. It says here that it's a malt-forward Maibock with a soft bitterness from German hop varieties. And the malt is Pilsner and Munich malts. And then the hops are Hallertau, Kalista, and Mandarina. It just says Hallertau. I don't know. There is one called Hallertau Mittelfrüh. There's many different Hallertau hop breeds. I think Mandarina Bavaria is also a Hallertau bred hop. I'm not entirely sure, but all German hops, and the Kalista and Mandarina being more new, modernized German hops. They say that it will have notes of freshly baked bread, grains, spices, pear, and apricot. So yeah, collab brew with Klippeøens best breweries. Okay, nice. Klippeøen. That's probably also why it's called Rock Brew. Klippe in Danish is cliff or rock. Like I think that's kind of the idea, and it's also looks like Bornholm as a guitar on the label. So let's check this one out. I think this is brewed at Svaneke. Yes, it is. Makes sense. If this is I think this has been in loads of Menu stores around the country, so makes sense that they would brew there. So pours a nice, slightly hazy rust orange color in the glass, slightly copper. But let's check this one out. Check out the aroma. Yeah, it's definitely floral. Really nice floral bouquet, but huge Munich malt profile. Like that really crusty, bready nuance. But surprisingly hoppy. It smells pretty nice. Peppery as well. There's some peppery, spicy notes. A hint of citrus. I totally actually see like apricot or dried apricot. But really crusty bread. Like it smells like really Munich malt heavy. But it smells nice. I saw a few people saying that it was too sweet. I don't think it smells that sweet. But yeah, it smells very classic, but with just this ever so lightest twist of like citrusy apricot nuances. But it's like crazy light. Let's try it. Cheers, and thanks to Copenhagen Beer Week for the beer. I don't think this is that sweet at all. It's got a nice substantial bitterness on the back end. Like that's one of the things often with Maibocks compared to like a Doppelbock or other boxes that like they're quite hop forward, and this for sure is. Like it has a really nice balance between that like crusty, bready Munich malt flavor, and then like a very floral, peppery, bitter hop bouquet. It's quite dry, I think, and bitter. I don't think it's that sweet. There's some slight breadiness, like maybe it's just like the sweet kind of bready nuance of Munich malt. Some people think tastes sweet. Like when you feel this on the palate, it feels like a dry beer in my mind. Yeah, it's like of all the Bocks, my Bocks are some of my favorites these days. I rarely drink Bock, but I like the idea of a stronger, more hoppy beer with those kind of crusty bread nuances and whatnot. I also like them a bit paler sometimes than this, really. But I think it's pretty much what you expect from a Maibock right here. Very hop-centric, but balanced with malt. You know, it's not as intensely sweet as Doppelbocks and whatnot. I'm really digging Maibocks at the moment. Although, it's not often I have them, but when I have them, it's like, yeah, I like this. It's like, it's almost like the Pilsner of the Bock world in some sense, because it's just much more hop aromatic. But that being said, I do love like a really nice hearty Doppelbock, or Weizenbock for that matter, or smoked Doppelbock. Like, it is a nice style. It's just not something you drink too much because not many people make it. I think it's a hard sell, at least in craft beer. But yeah, very well made, really clean. It's got that sweet, or not sweet, that crackery, bread crusty, freshly baked bread kind of flavor. Fresh graininess. On the back end, you're sitting with a lot of peppery spice, like that Kräuter, herby, green hop flavor like you get from noble hops, or just classic German hops for that matter. And then with the softest twist of some kind of apricot-y, citric vibe. I don't know much about pear, at least for me. Then it would be like a stewed pear, but it's so subtle, it's a bit hard to pick up. Also, like some perfumey, floral nuances to it. Surprisingly nice Maibock. I actually thought I would dislike this. Well, not dislike it. I was expecting a completely different beer because of what I saw people posting online. I saw a few people saying it was too sweet, but it's like, this is not too sweet at all. To my palate, at least. Drink's really authentic. In terms of a grade, it's not like I'm blown away. It's just really well made. It also seems like they've gone a bit the extra mile compared to some other Svaneke beers, supermarket beers. It's been a long time since I picked up a Svaneke beer in the supermarket, but I just remember a few of them being like a bit more like easygoing and not as powerful on the hop aromatics as this one seems to be. So, yeah, for that, I'm almost debating a 90, to be honest. I really like most of the flavors in this. Like, well, there's nothing I dislike. But I'm also not like floored. So maybe like a small 90 or a large 89 or big 89. It is tasty. It's like, if you love Bock beers, I think you'd dig this. Especially also if you like more bitter beers. I don't think it's like crazy bitter, but it feels like it's 30 plus IBUs at least. Because it's definitely got a nice punch, but it could also, sometimes you get confused with like bitterness, and like, especially if the hop profile is like herby and spicy and whatnot, and then often that will make you think it's more bitter than it is. But it's good for sure. So if you guys had a chance to try the Rock Brew from, here we go, Copenhagen Beer Week, Menülaue, Svaneke, Small Batch Beer here, and Lucky Island Brewing Co. Mega collab right there. Let me know what you thought of it. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up, enjoyed it, ring the bell for future notifications about videos, and thanks a ton to Copenhagen Beer Week for the beer. And I want to say cheers and see you guys in another beer review.